That, my dear friends, was oxygen for my body, the blood for my veins, and the meditation for my soul. Belly dancing is the path and the direction of my life. I first attempted dance when I was very young. I was 5 years old. It was very casual. When I was 8 years old, during a cousin's reunion, we all were taking our turns at dancing on Bollywood numbers. And out of nowhere, my grandmother came during my performance and seeing me dancing, her first words were, "कभी किसी रंडी को नाचते हुए देखा है?" Obviously, I was too small to understand the meaning of that word, but I knew I was abused at. I was a bit hurt, I was a little scared, but I continued dancing. I was a die-hard fan of Madhuri Dixit. I loved her elegance, her grace, her poise. In the years to come, somewhere I knew that I'm not that typical male from that male community. I wanted to wear a variety of ornaments. I wanted to wear skirt. I wanted to dance with all that elegance and poise and grace, perhaps like Madhuri Dixit. I was a little effeminate boy and I was okay with it. Having similar belief, I had no one around. My friends used to punch me behind my back. My family used to allow derogatory and demeaning words to me. Words like nachaniya, bhan, patpair, chhakka, such words the vocabulary of my childhood. Physically abusing me was the right everyone had been licensed with. All I wanted was just one thing: basic acceptance and little understanding, that simple understanding. What all I got was rejection. I think that's how dancing became my escape destination. Belly dancing is a proper, pure classical art form. The basic need of belly dance is not an exotic body or some exotic costume, but acceptance. The basic need of belly dance is acceptance. You need to accept yourself the way you are. You need to love yourself the way you are. In Middle East, a mother used to pass on this beautiful art form to their daughters so that they can prepare their womb for the labor pain. Girls used to use this art form for their menstruation cycle. And there have been a lot of male belly dancers, just because women weren't supposed to go out and perform. So all those male belly dancers used to go out and perform, because going out for the women was a taboo at that point of time. It is also known as homegrown dance form. When I was 13 years old, I was dancing in my school, and my principal teacher noticed me, and she was like, "I think you should do some sort of classical dancing." And that was the first time when I kind of exposed to classical dancing, and I wanted to do that. So right after my examination, I started going to school, dressing up my own, and early in the morning I used to go to school. And my parents were suddenly started realizing that this lazy boy getting up on his own and is going to school, for which reasons. So my father called up to my school authorities, and then he just confirmed there. He was applauded and appreciated for the amazing son he had. They were like, "Your son is really bright, he's a good dancer, you should support him, he's amazing." The moment I reached back home, my father was waiting for me with this stick. I was beaten black and blue. And that was the first time I got my first fracture of my life. And he promised me more fractures. He said, "If you're not going to pass," I was supposed to get my result right after that. So he said, "If you're not going to get passed in all the subjects, I promise I'm going to give you more fractures." With that fear, I thought that's the right time to bid adieu to this little hell of mine. So I stole 500 rupees at that point of time, and I ran away. Where? Nainital. Why? Because I saw on TV that there was this dance auditions were happening in Nainital of that really popular dance reality show at that point of time, which was Boogie Woogie. So I ran away from my house just so I can participate in the dance show, and then I can become a big dancer, and then I'll come back to my home and saying that, "See, this is what I am." But there was something mentioned in my life destiny. I ended up doing sweeping, cleaning, washing dishes in some really good family in Rudrapur. My family was looking for me everywhere. There were several print ads for me. And right after 7 months, I came back to home. And now, besides all those adjectives which were there in my vocabulary, there was this another word, which was bhagora. And I thought, this is the right time. If I'm going to do something in my life, people are going to crib about it. If I'm not going to do anything in my life, even then people are going to talk about it. And people are calling me still those names, and all this one more adjective, which is bhagora. That term made me rebel. I started following my heart, and I've decided that I'm going to do what my heart says. There were a lot of things were happening back to back there in my life, and I was really pretty much young to understand that how to accept myself, who I am. I was struggling as an adolescent. It's very hard to understand when you're so young that what people are talking about. Because what all you're getting from everyone is that you're abnormal. There's something wrong in you. What's that? You don't know. You're trying to figuring out what's that wrong thing in you. Everyone is pointing out at you, and you're not getting that. People are judging you, and you're going in your shell. You're wearing a facade to pretend something else which you're actually not. I remember I went to my mom right after that. I said, Mama, I want to learn Kathak dancing. The first thing she did was she pat on her forehead, and the first thing she said was, why can't you do something masculine? And she slapped me so hard and she said, don't you ever talk about it. Because we belong to that community where we get entertained. We don't entertain others. So you better should not talk about such profession. Since the rebel was so active in me, I decided that I'm going to bunk my science tuition and I'm going to learn this art form. And I started learning this art form. I was supposed to perform my very first performance on the stage, Kathak performance, and I decided to wear this beautiful flared anarkali because I've been searching a lot that male belly dancers used to wear anarkalis those days in Akbar Mughal's period. So I decided I'm going to revive that look and I'm going to wear anarkali. The moment I wore that outfit and I was there on the stage, everyone was making fun of me. Everyone was saying, are you trying to gimmick a eunuch? Are you trying to be a cross-dresser? I was a little hurt, but I thought that this is just me and I'm not going to change myself for anybody. The moment I was there on the stage and I danced, all those abuses, all that negativity turned into applause. And that was the first moment I realized that I'm not that spineless. I can do something with this life of mine. I realized that life is not that bad the way I think, and I thought that I have something in me as well. Then, right after that, I excelled in my Kathak exam. I ranked first position in my batch. So I was really excited about it. I was so happy. So I went to my mom and I said, Mom, I won this first prize. She thought I won this prize in studies. She was like, which subject? I said, Kathak. And there was just another applause, but as a slap. Ouch. That hurt a lot. And she reminded me that you're not going to talk about this to your father ever. I became more rebel, I became more stubborn. I wanted to know why she's denying, why there's a period of denial going on in my life. Whatever I'm doing in my life, it's wrong. Everything is going wrong, things are falling apart. So I went to my mom again, I told her, why are you saying no to me for everything? Then she told me that we are Muslims. In our religion, you're not supposed to sing or dance. It's haram. Dancing and singing considered as haram in Islam. Right after that conversation, I went ahead and then I kind of searched a lot of religious books. I had word with a lot of philosophers, Islamic philosophers, and then I got to know singing is actually haram in Islam if you are not singing that song or that nayat for Almighty God, Allah. If you're singing something for Allah, that's jais. And if you're singing something for someone else besides Almighty, that's completely prohibited. There's only one instrument in Islam which is allowed to play, which is called duff. Dancing, poorly, it's not that much talked in either in Quran or in Hadith. So there's this one incident in Hadith where Prophet and Aisha saw these Abyssinian dancers dancing. And watching those dancers, neither they condemned nor they stopped them. Not even there was any sort of demeaning, derogatory comment coming out of their side. Since then, I started dancing Kathak. Ever since, till date, I do it. Those were the days I was struggling a lot. I was tired. I was exhausted completely, fighting with myself, finding the real me inside me. I was kind of figuring out who I am. Why everyone is pointing out fingers at me. I wanted to know what thing I'm doing wrong. What is there something in my siblings which they're not in me? Why my father is abusing me all the time? And those were the days I was going in my shell again and again because everyone was pointing me out. Whenever I was dancing, people were saying you're wrong. Whenever I was doing anything else, they were saying you're not normal. Around that time, love came in my life. Love, as it sounds, as beautiful as the tales go, love taught me that how beautiful life can be. That feeling taught me the feel of the acceptance. I got to know about myself, my being, and I realized that I am also something. But then we broke up. Things fell apart. And that was the first time I felt suicidal. And guys, I was hospitalized for 2 months. And then I saw my family, they were so stressed out. And there was this thought in my mind at that point of time that why am I hurting them? What's their fault? They love me so much, why am I hurting them? That was the time I finally decided that I'm not going to waste this beautiful life for anybody, for anybody. I'm going to have serious, strong goals in my life. I've decided that life is very beautiful. In life, we should live it fully. We should dance, we should laugh, rather than killing ourselves for no reason or for someone else. That was the main time in my life when I decided that I'm going to make something, if not for anybody else, for myself. I'm going to stand for myself. I decided pursuing fashion designing because my family denied for the dance choreography completely. So I went ahead to Mumbai and I started doing my fashion designing course. Right after that, while pursuing that fashion designing course, I kind of separate myself from dancing, but there was always a void space. I always kind of realized that there's something wrong going on. I went ahead and then I came back to Delhi and then I started pursuing my belly dancing. I've been exposed to belly dancing and I realized that how beautiful this art form can be. And then I felt that in belly dancing you need to accept yourself, you need to love yourself the way you are, and then I realized that I'm not ugly. It's just the people's perception. I'm not weird, it's just the people's perception. I realized that I have something in me which I can cater to this world, I can deliver to this world. And I found my presence in this world. All I want to say is this, just that when I just hear the music, my feet wants to dance. When I'm happy, my heart wants to dance. When I'm in pain, my mind wants to dance. When I'm in love, my soul wants to dance. My entire existence wants to dance. So I shall keep on dancing till the last breath of my life. Thank you.